Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to a very light stretch, The Sketch. It is hosted by Janet, who is Galaxy Girl Creations here on YouTube. Plus, it is also a Woodgrain and Winter. Not the right day, because it's kind of late too, but I still did use Woodgrain in my layout. And it is hosted by Janet and MK. And this is a sketch for Stretch a Sketch. As you can see up there in the upper left-hand corner, there I flipped it. So I have the big thing there at the bottom, and my title will be moved over a little bit. I have these two photos here, and I'm going to use that punch and several dies for my layout. That KS Craft one, a very old Quick Cuts one. Oh, and I am going to use some Simple Stories stickers there. So quite a few different little things. I did ink pretty much all of these pieces. I found a couple I didn't. And I layered these two. One is stitched, one isn't, but I used the same paper. And I inked both because those pictures are of homemade bread that my daughter made, and I cut the end off, well, tore it off. I don't even think I cut it off. And then I added butter and cinnamon and sugar to it. So I'm trying to recreate that on here. I used some tea dye ink with some water. And also I am using, well, I'm using gesso because I thought, well, it'll be thicker and it'll always seems to have a little bit of clumps when you use it. So I wanted it to look like little lumps of sugar on there. So I'm going to splatter it and splatter it and splatter it. And it's going to go everywhere, it seems like, except on my little cookies there. But finally I'll get enough on there. But I'll have plenty all around it too. But I am satisfied with when I get done. However, at one point I thought about adding some glitter to the gesso. But then I thought, I don't think I have any more. I think I've gave it all away to people that weren't happy to get it, probably. But yeah, I wanted the clear, and I really don't think I have any. Um, that cup there, you can see the cup laying in the tray. That is from the Quick Cuts. It does have measuring spoons with that die, but this one's so cute with the little pieces that go in it. They're shaped different. They're like from the side. And so I inked the little pieces and put them on there, and I saved the tiny one for the last. But I also cut out the rolling pin, and this I cut it out, the measuring cup, and then I wasn't sure if I was going to have to cut it out twice, but I put it on my scoreboard and scored it right along the edge of the top so it'd give like a little dimension to it. And I was worried I'd do it crooked. Well, I did, but it was such a tiny amount that I decided to go ahead and use it instead of recutting it. I should have waited until after I put these little drippy goo things on my little child cheater there. I would have been able to do less highlighting. But I did it beforehand, so that's okay. I'm going to cut some of my highlights off when I put it on there. This does come with something that goes on top, so it looks like it's scooped in there, even though the little measuring spoons didn't. And that glob you see right there, that is dough. So I am going to use it on this layout. Now, I was sick when this was due, and I watched a lot of YouTube, and of course I watched the Stretch the Sketch, and I liked the variety of what people had instead of hearts. And I was trying to think, what am I going to use? And so I finally decided to use this die set and use that tray. Well, after I ran across these pictures while I was looking for pictures, and I should have centered it to go along better with the sketch, but I went a little rogue. And because of the doily, when I think of cooking and homemade and stuff on layouts, I think of doilies a lot. So I wanted it, but I didn't want to center it in the middle of my cookie sheet there. So I put it over to the side. So that makes it off a little bit. But the layout was inspiration on how to do this. Since it is my Smash book, I am not layering as much. Since I have that cookie tray behind there, I'm not matting my photos. I'm just going to go ahead and lay them on here. And since it's slick, it was hard getting them to stick. They kept wanting to move. But yeah, see the loaf of bread. Now, my bread has a story in which I'm putting right there. I almost forgot. But I used one of my dies to cut that little thing out, note paper off with. It already had the lines on there. But my daughter took this spell of making homemade bread this summer. And she'd make it on Saturday morning early. And then while it's still hot, she'd deliver it. She'd make 5 loaves. She'd keep one, and then she'd take 4 to give to other people. And I got one, every Saturday. And I felt guilty being one that got them every Saturday because I knew people were asking, when's my turn? So I told her she could skip me a few times, but it was kind of hard to tell her that. But I did. But she brought it over one morning, and I thought I would put the cinnamon and sugar on it. So I thought, well, I'll send her a picture. And so that's what I did. And the loaf there is actually from another uh, morning. She had sent my niece Reagan over with it. And I just sent her a picture saying, got it. And so I had 2 pictures there to actually go on this little layout. And this page, since our sketch is 12 by 12, we're supposed to do something else besides 12 by 12. The Smashbook is like 13 and a half by 9.5. So it's longer than a 12 by 12. And so I wanted to put something up there in that corner, even though there isn't anything on the sketch. And so yeah, I used a tag. The tag was actually from Countryside 49 and Market. And so is that little strip of gingham there. Um, and when I was looking through my Smashbook to decide which page to put on, there's plenty of times I cover it up with something else if I don't see anything. But if I can use it, I want to use it. Well, I seen this wood grain and I thought, oh, great, I won't have to put no wood grain on there. It's already here. And I know I have not done anything in this book in a few years. I mean, it's been a while. I have done a couple of in here that I did videos on, but like I said, it's been a good while. And I'm glad I thought of it when I seen these 2. I kept thinking I would do it in my Smashbook and just kept putting it off. So, it's only a few months, so that's really good for it to make it into my Smashbook. At the end, this video probably looks really long to you. Well, the process video is not so much. But then I did a flip through of the Smashbook in case you want to stick around and watch it. But yeah, that is at the end. And, the video for the process will be over for then. The process video is actually shorter than the part for the flip through. And if y'all see me squeezing that glue gun, it's because like over a year ago they came out with that precision press thing for your glue. And I thought about getting it because, my thumbs kill me sometimes and I can't hardly even scrapbook. But I put it off and put it off. So it's been over a year and I still don't have one. And when I have to squeeze a glue gun like that, I think, man, I should get that precision press because everybody says it really helps. But yeah, that's what I do is because I can't push on it. A couple of times you might see me try, but real quick I realize, no, there's no way. So yeah, that's why my hands look so funny squeezing the bottle. Now, watching the video and seeing that noted, awesome, I think it looks great there. But we're looking at it while I was doing the layout, I thought it looked way too small for that area, so I took them off and I cut out the word delicious to put on there, and I knew it fit pretty good because I had done it, I think, for the 12 days of Christmas, maybe. And I went ahead and cut it out and put it on there. I will use the word awesome. I won't use the word noted, but the awesome will make it on there in a minute. And I was able to hang on to these little, well, dots to go over the eyes. I think they're called tittles or something like that. But last time I used that word, I lost them really quick. And I'm highlighting it to go with the other highlights that are on the layout. And I think that's all I do, and I will be done. And then I will do the walkthrough of the Smashbook. And the thing is, I almost forgot what I was doing. The first couple of pages I didn't talk. Then I caught myself and had to laugh at myself. But yeah. And now the flip through. This page here, I was on vacation with my daughter and her family, and she called it Culture Vacation 2011. And this is kind of like an itinerary. It says my favorite things, but taking pictures, scrapbooking those pictures, so on down there. And then a little bit about our trip. And then this one we had gone to, it was for my grandson's birthday, and we'd gone to a Mexican restaurant, and I always order the same thing, fajitas, either mixed or chicken or steak. My daughter insisted I ordered this, and I really liked it. So I decided to make a layout of it. I took a photo of it because she told me to. I never think of that. And yeah, I decided I'd go ahead and scrap it in here in the Smashbook. And this one, a friend of mine, a YouTube scrappy friend, she lives in Canada, sent me this tea. I didn't think I liked tea. Well, not the tea my mom made. I like iced tea, but I didn't like the hot tea. And she would make it out of the iced tea that was instant when I was a kid, and it had lemon in it, and I just did not care for it. I didn't care for the instant tea at all. I did not know there was anything else until I was probably 11, 10 or 11, and I was at one of her cousin's houses. But I saved the note from her and the packet and all about what I basically told you. And this is this is like one time taking a screenshot on my phone, and I was just going to save the photo and print it. I was going to send it to myself, and I took a screenshot. I wasn't purposely taking a screenshot. I did, and it hit me what I did. So it was an epic fail, and I was with my oldest grandson. We were at the movies. He called and asked me if I wanted to go see Finding Dory with him, and so we went, and of course we'd watched Finding Emo when he was much younger. And this is the Bon Terre Mines, and I have a ticket from it, and I went long time before I ever started scrapbooking. And I told about that trip, and I took this off the internet, and this too, because of course I did not take any photos back then. And this same grandson gave me a Christmas card. He insisted on giving me one himself, and I know this opens, oh, here, and then it opens here. So, love you the most, and so I put it on here. One of my favorite gifts is cards. And this, I drew this and cut it out, and we had a tree in the yard, and I used to get in that tree all the time. And I would read, mostly. I would sing. I would play the tonette. I would do my homework there on days it was warm enough. And here's the reading. And it's Trixie Belden. I love Trixie Belden books. And I gave them to my daughter when she got old enough to read them, and she still has them. Well, she had decided to sell them and didn't tell me, when she was probably 13, 14. And my sister found them at a yard sale with her name in them, my daughter's name in them, and mine, because this woman had called and told her they were there, and she bought the whole box, and I gave her the money back. So I took them and gave them to my daughter for Christmas one year, and she was thrilled. I mean, she cried. She was so thrilled. She said that was the biggest mistake of her life. And I draw a lot. So I spent a lot of time in that tree, and so I wanted to document that. And let's see. Oh, my sister got me this cup. I had coffee in it this morning. This was probably 10 years ago that I made this page. So, yeah, I wanted to mark that. I have coffee in that cup every morning, unless I make espresso and put the foam and all that stuff on there. Then I have a bigger cup that I use. Well, I had a bigger cup that I use. I broke it a few months ago, so I don't have that. And this was a postcard from a Scrappy friend here on YouTube, and I know it opens some way or another. Oh, this way. So she wrote on, and she's from South Africa, so I had to put South Africa here, and a globe. And this was like my favorite place in the whole world to eat, Burger Chef. And I went there as a kid, well, teenager. I don't think I went as an actual kid, but I went as a teenager. Every chance I got, we'd go to lunch at school, and some of my friends had cars, and we would go different places. Mostly we had to walk, and went to this little cafe down at the bottom of the hill. But if we had the car, we would go here or, somewhere. But yeah, I had to document that. And this, I don't know if y'all ever heard of Betsy McCall, but it was a magazine. And I found some online. And I print them on photo paper so it'd be shiny like the magazine. And my mom got that magazine, and my mom never cut or ripped anything out of a magazine except this. She wanted a recipe, she wrote it down. But every other month I would get one, and my sister would get one the other month. Anyway, I do have one I saved, and yeah, and did not cut it up, but this had this big envelope, and I wanted to save that. And this, my daughter gets me Vanilla Bean Noel every year, and this was one of the first years I got the packaging off of it. I think it's printed on there now. I don't think you can take it off. But I made a page of it and how I get it every year. She got me, I think, 6 bottles this year. And when I was a kid, everybody wanted Skipper. Me, I wanted Penny Bright. Everybody wanted Barbie. Me, I wanted Midge. Anyway, I documented Penny Bright. There was a challenge on YouTube to make a tag documenting something you got as a kid when you were little, which was, a fun tag to make. So I went ahead and put the tag on here and put it in here. And I still need to make one of Midge. And this is a Tootsie Roll, and my grandson would bring me home. When he'd get so many points, he could get a piece of candy out of this bowl. And he would get a Tootsie Roll. He does not like Tootsie Rolls. He would get the Tootsie Roll just to bring it to me. And so I saved one of the packagings and put it on here and talked about that. And as you can see, I do a lot more journaling on front in the Smashbook. It was kind of a freeing up kind of thing to buy this. I was so thrilled to get it. And I bought all the stuff for a Smashbook. However, I found that I like using scrapbooking stuff much, much more. And we ordered from a Chinese restaurant lunch at work one day, and I had to send a $10 bill, I think it was, and I got change. Well, this isn't real money here, but this is, the coin is. And they put it in this cute little vellum. My mind blanked for a second there. Envelope, and I thought that was so cute. So it was unexpected cute. It's the little things that make your day. And this one, since it's black and white and it wasn't super great, it was at a mall. This is, we'd gone to the mall, and this is my daughter, one of my brother's daughters, all three, and my sister's daughter, cramming in there and getting their photo taken. So I had to make a little layout of it. And this is, well, it used to be called Opryland Hotel, but now it's called, I don't know, what is it called now? I know it's called something different now, though. And we'd gone there for home interior seminars, so I had taken pictures. And this was from, gosh, it was probably, well, it's the date on here, surely. 1985, May 26, 1985, at a concert. And I seen them at Poplar Creek up by Chicago with a bunch of family and friends. And now these little teepees are, well, they're still at the north of town. And when we would come down from Illinois on a trip, I never slept a whole lot. So I'd always be awake when everybody else would be asleep, except my dad. He worked night shift and he got off, and he would drive down here as soon as he got off. And so I'd be wide awake and I'd see this. And so I wanted to document that, how I knew I was almost here when I would see that. And this is the one I did today, so y'all know all about that one. And this was my first job. I was 5. It was a Saturday, and my dad took me to work with him. And I'm telling all about that. I did have to type it up because it was so much to tell. But yeah, here it is. This is the end he worked at, and that was another part of it because the building was kind of long. And you can tell if you look close enough at the photos that it was, but this shows the road, and you would not believe how, well, I guess you would, how different that is now. And that's it. That's my Smashbook, and I thought I would go ahead and use it and maybe get some of these things I got laying around done, because I haven't done a layout in here in forever. So I was thrilled to get this one done. But I hope you all have a happy new year. Oh, somehow I missed one. When I went to glue these down, I seen it, and that it is a card from Casey and Jake. And so I put it in here. And this is the only Smashbook I bought, but my daughter got a grab bag at Michael's once. We don't have one in town. And it was full of, I think, like 8 or 9 Smashbooks, a smaller one. So I put the cards in them now so I can use the other pages for other things besides cards and save the little ones for the cards. But that's it, really. I don't think I missed anything else. Bye.